So let me know once you are able to see it. Okay. So that day we have created our document type, right? That day ZOR9. We are yet to create the customer and material. Okay. But let's go. Yeah, hi. Yeah. Anyone saying anything?
No, Deepak, I am
Okay.
saying yes.
Okay. So as of now, let's not create customer material, and also let's not go to the control of document type, because that will be anyway there in the document. So we'll follow the document actually the flow, so that we don't miss anything. Up to here we covered, right? This we have not covered. Yeah, I think here we were, right? Sales document type, and we created the CMIR thing, all those things, right? This we have covered, right? Header item schedule. Schedule line, I told you earlier, it's in the VBP section. This is also done. As I said that day, these are few document type and T codes that you should remember. But a detailed section is there in the video letter section also. The same thing, but in a more detailed fashion. There it also contains the item category and detail as well, so that you can refer, or you can remember this one as well. No problem with that. These are all the code. All this we have covered. I think we have covered all this. These are not required. You see, these all MB1C and all it is talking, because I said this document is from ECC. So just you need to remember that the T code will be MIGO here. Okay, wherever that MIGO T code and BP. So in this document you must be finding XD01, XD03, all those stuff. So remember that T code will not work. You have to go to BP. This is not required. We can ignore all this. Yeah, let's talk about the flow first. So what we do after, once we create our order, what is the next document what we create after document sales order? We create delivery, right? If it's a delivery related billing, then only we create, or else if it's a order related billing, then we don't need delivery, directly we can do. But since we are talking as a general or generic flow, so, or if someone asks what is the flow, so you should always tell order, delivery, PGI, invoice. Okay. If someone asks what is the flow for service related order, service order, those kind of stuff, then you need to tell order, and then will be billing. There will be no delivery. So T code, as I said, VL01N. There are multiple T code, but you can remember at least one, VL011N. There I think VL010, VL04. Okay, and these all T codes are also there, but you can remember this VL01 as of now. And but this is not required. These are not required that much. You can ignore all this. You can go through. If you can understand, that's fine. If you don't understand, leave it, because it's something which is on a deeper version actually. So if you don't understand, just leave it. No need to waste time in all these things. And anyway, this is just saying what kind of errors you may get, like business area is not defined, or some sort of error you will get. So how you can fix it? But error could be anything, right? It's not only that these all error we will get. There could be any error. Let's say if anything missing is a config, so there will be different error coming, right? So these all errors are just sample. It's not mandatory that okay you will always face this error. No, not required. Okay, what we do post we do the PGI, we create invoice, right? T code in VF01. What we do in invoice, how do we create? We go to VF01, we put our delivery number. Remember, this is how we used to create, right? This all anyway I have shown you, but just in the document I will still again recover, repeating everything. Here we used to put our delivery, and then we go press enter. Since it's already created, you see it says no billing document created, please see log. So then you need to go to edit, you see log. So this error you will face in a lot of testing, okay, when you do a config, when you try to post your own document by your own. So this kind of error you may get, that no billing document generated, please see log. Okay, so you need to follow this path, edit log. You see the message is straightforward, the document is already fully invoiced. If I go to document flow, you see this is document flow, right? You see it's already created. So this is why system is throwing me that error, that it's already invoice and you cannot create another invoice for the same delivery. There could be multiple invoices, but let's say there are 2 line items, right? Then there could be a case that okay, single delivery has 2 invoices, one invoice for each line item. But since in our case we have only one line item, so there will be only one invoice. And also generally they don't follow that practice to to split the billing. Generally, a standard process what SAP or every company follows is one delivery, one invoice. Unless until there is some specific requirement, then only they go with the splitting, or else generally this is the practice. For one order, there could be multiple delivery. That is a very common practice. But from one delivery, there is mostly one invoice only. They don't go for multiple billing. Okay, again, these all are some few errors that you may encounter when you do, but as of now you can ignore it. When you do, you can see what error you are getting. Okay, so don't focus on these errors and all. Yeah, so now this is a flowchart how the sales process looks like. So first is inquiry, then quotation, then there are 2 more documents in between. There is a contract and there is a scheduling agreement. Okay, but scheduling agreement I have seen very less company who were using the scheduling agreement. Mostly I have seen this inquiry, quotation, contract, and then they used to create sales order. Then delivery, then billing. Okay, here if you see they have mentioned this scheduling agreement. So how they have, what they are trying to show in this picture is they have segregated the document, which document belongs to which category. If some, as I told you earlier also, inquiry, quotation, contract, sales order, return order, scheduling agreement, these all document where you will config in view V8. So these all documents are sales document, or you can say something coming under the category of sales document, right? So that's why it is blocked. They are put into the similar block. Delivery, as I said, it's a shipping related stuff, so it's a different document. And then you create credit memo, debit memo, or billing, normal billing. This goes on to the category of billing. So here they have just segregated the 3 categories. Clear up to any confusion so far in this?
I'm not able.
Okay. Now if you see here, the flow is also they have shown. Inquiry, quotation, this you can ignore. Purchase order, this you don't consider as of now. Inquiry, quotation, then sales order, the delivery, then shipping also you can ignore, because this, but since it is appear here, I'll just let you know a brief about this. See, when you create a delivery, right, after creation of delivery there are a lot of other controls or parameter or process happens in between only related to shipping. But as I said, it's up to the company or up to the client whether they want to use that or not. It's similar to a like inquiry quotation, right? And I told you inquiry quotation is also something which is not mandatory. You can directly start your sales order in VA01, right? There is no mandatorily that okay you have to use VA01. I mean VA11, VA21, all those stuff. Inquiry, quotation, contract, scheduling agreement. Those are not mandatory. So similarly, the shipping document what you create in VT01, it's not mandatory. Few company uses it, few company don't use it. But if you go with the shipping document, then you get a lot of controls related to shipping only, like shipping cost, all those stuff, vendor level control, the payment stuff, everything you have here. But as I said, this is not very popular. I feel so you can ignore the shipping document as well. But if someone asks you where we create shipping document, they need to tell after we create the delivery, then the shipping document or shipment cost document, all those comes into picture, and then we do the billing. But in normal, you don't say the shipping and purchase. You simply say inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, billing. That's it. Okay. These all are not just definition. As I said, inquiry.
Sir, I have a
Yeah.
sir, I have a question
Mm-hmm.
that here a material document is also created, no?
Yeah, material document will
Or
be
we create a
created at the time of PGI. But as I said,
okay,
if you go to the document, I think you missed the. You are not part of that class. You see, there is a material document also created, and this is accounting entry for invoice. These two documents
okay,
we don't say generally. We simply say order, delivery, invoice. If someone asks
okay,
specifically, is there any document created between delivery and invoice, they need to tell, yeah, there will be picking document and there will be PGI document. This is our PGI document.
okay.
But generally we don't say. We simply say order, delivery, invoice. Even this
Got it.
accounting entry also we never say. If someone asks what happens after you create an invoice, then you need to tell after we create invoice, then accounting entry will be generated for invoice as well. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, these all are just definition. You can go through it in when I share this document. So inquiry, when customer inquires about the product, it's just a high level inquiry. Well, like what is the feature, what is the cost, that's it. If customer is interested, he will inquire more about the product. He is more interested, then kind of quotation. Okay, then there will be a contract as well. Then comes our order. This is VA01, this is VA21. As I said, in between, I mean, after quotation, the inquiry quotation, yeah, there will be contract and scheduling agreement. These four documents we call it a pre-sales document: inquiry, quotation, contract, and schedule agreement. T codes are very similar: VA11, 21, 31, 41. Then comes the order, VA01. Then we create delivery. You see, picking, packing, PGI. So generally we don't say separately, but if someone asks, then you need to tell picking, packing, and PGI. Picking is required. Most of the cases you will not see packing. Packing is not very mandatory kind of stuff. Most of the business you will see delivery, then they do picking, and then they do the PGI. How we do picking? Picking is very simple. You go to your delivery, you go to picking tab, you simply copy this delivery quantity and paste it here. That's it. You call it picking has been done. And once you copy paste the same quantity, it becomes C. That means picking is completed. You see, C means completed. If you delete these two, it will be something else. Maybe it will be blank or maybe it will be A. Okay, not yet processed or not relevant. Let's say there are two quantity, you have picked only one quantity, then it's a partially processed. It's not fully picked. Okay, so picking is a very simple process. You go to picking, you simply copy whatever quantity here, you paste it here. That's it. So we call it picking done. Here also you see overall picking, because there could be multiple line item, right? Maybe let's say there are three line items. One I have done picking. So for line item wise, I can see that picking is completed for the first line item. But what if I have not picked the other two materials or line item? Then overall picking status for the delivery is not complete. Why? I have only picked the first line item. Okay. Let's go to the document again. Yeah, invoice. After we do PGI, we do invoicing, and this is the accounting entry. This I have already covered earlier. Also, is very important. What is the accounting entry for invoice? So customer account is debited and revenue account is credited. This is how you need to tell. Okay, debit means plus, credit means minus. When you go to the document, actual document, let's go to the accounting document of invoice only. You see, this is your customer account debit, that means plus, and revenue and output tax will be minus, that means it's credit. Okay, and as I always said, the sum of this all will always be zero. If it's not zero, SAP will not allow you to post. The sum will always be zero. Yeah, if someone asks you what kind of this, I think I already covered you, right? This pro forma invoice. Pro forma, I said this is a dummy invoice. We just create to see how it looks like. It's not a legal invoice. And when you create a pro forma, generally we what do you call it, in the printout or in the form also we mention this is a pro forma invoice. At the header level itself, we mentioned it's a pro forma. The pro forma is nothing but just a kind of simulation of the actual commercial invoice. This is the main invoice, what we call commercial invoice. Okay, and just since, as I said, end user sometimes they want to sometimes the end user want to see how the invoice will look like. So they don't create the commercial invoice directly, they first create the performer, because if they create the commercial invoice and if anything goes wrong, then again they have to cancel the commercial invoice. And as I said, commercial invoice is something which is a legal document. I think somebody is unmuted. Can you mute? Yojana, I think you are. Yeah. So as I said, commercial invoice is something which is a legal document. So it's not recommended to create and cancel, right? So we first, if someone wants to see how the invoice will look like, what will be the pricing, so they can create the performa. Excise invoice is something when you are selling abroad to other country. That time the excise invoice also comes into picture, because then the commercial invoice is something which is only applicable or only valid for within the country. But if you are selling to some other country, then if you think from that perspective, when you are selling to some other country, then that country will have their own law, and there are some old different rules and regulations will be applied to your transaction, right? So that time we create this excise invoice. And you see here the business flow. VAG 11, we create inquiry. VA 21, we create quotation. You see the document type also, it has mentioned QT, then we create OR. These all are standard. Now, this is a very important thing actually. When you create your sales order, right? So how you create? You go to VA01, right? Let me go to VA01. VA01. You put our document type, you put sales order, put division. I have not pressed enter, or I have not created continue, right? I'm just stopping here. You see, number. Whenever we create sales order in SAP, system performs various activities in the background. These all are processes which system performs. First, it will try to determine the partner. Partner determination, simply you can understand, when I go inside and if I press sold to party, I press enter, it is asking reference, let's put some text. You see, ship to party automatically came, right? If you go to header, you can see your all, these all we have not entered, right? The bill to pair. But system has determined this bill to party and pair also from your sold to party. So this is example of partner determinants, how system determines the partner. Then comes the listing. Then material determination. This all happens in the back end. You don't see it front end happening, but these all are happening in the back end. I don't know how many of you will understand. If I do, you want me to explain a bit of all these 11 point what happens in the back end? Anyway, these all will be covered later section in the detail, but if you want, I can give you a brief idea what is all
Yeah,
the.
like just a gist of it would work
Okay.
because text determination is something I don't know what
Okay,
exactly does.
okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
if you
Okay, so let's go. I'll brief for maybe 1 or 2 minutes for each section. Okay, so I said partner means determining the these all partners, bill to, sold to, pair, because in the document I have entered only the sold to, right? And I press enter. These all partners functions automatically got determined from the business partner. So this is the first thing what system does. Then the listing and exclusion. What happens sometimes? I want my customer to be restricted, or my group of customer to be restricted, so that okay, they can only buy this certain material or this certain group of material. Then I can go for listing. Listing means something which I'm allowing. Let's say Vishal comes to me and for some reason I want, let's say I'm selling three different kind of product, pipe, cement and electricity. But for some reason I want Vishal to be restricted only to buy cement. If someone knowingly or unknowingly also, if he tries to create order for pipe or for power for Vishal sales order, it should not allow. So I can have that control layer. I can maintain the listing for Vishal that okay, Vishal is only listed for my cement material. So you can only buy cement good. If someone tries to enter the what do you call DI pipe or electricity or something, system will throw a error that Vishal is not listed, or this material is not listed for Vishal. Some sort of error you will get. We will cover all this. Okay. Similarly, exclusion. Sorry, I think I explained the other way around. Listing is something which is allowed. As I said, listing, I want Vishal only to be by cement. I will maintain a list for Vishal and cement. Exclusion. Let's say there are 10 materials, right? And I want, okay, let's Vishal purchase all those 9 or 10, whatever material I have. But a certain material I don't want Vishal to purchase. The other way around, negative approach, right? Let's say I have three, let's say in our example, I have cement, pipe and electricity. So I want Vishal should not purchase electricity. Other thing he can purchase, other new product or anything is get launched, that's fine. But I don't want Vishal to purchase electricity. Then I will maintain some exclusion for Vishal. That Vishal cannot purchase that electricity material. He can only purchase pipe, cement, anything he can purchase. But whenever he will try to enter the material for electricity, it will throw us the error. Okay, now material determination. Material determination, as I said earlier also, let's say a certain customer comes to you always and he always buys a certain number of or certain goods, then you can have that material determination. Okay, whenever I press this customer number, I'm trying to create order for this particular customer, system will automatically determine the materials. So this comes under material. Now free goods. Let's say uh, I have given a free good kind of promotion that okay, if someone is buying me 10 goods, I will give some 2 goods free, right? This kind of business happens, right, in the real world. So after your material is determined, then only I can determine the free goods, right? Okay, if someone has entered 10 pieces, okay, I will give 2 pieces free. So you see the flow, how system is what do you call taking or processing all these activities step by step. This free good cannot be before material determination, right? Because what you are selling and what is the quantity. Before knowing that, how can you say, okay, this much I'll give you free? In general world also, right? If you go to a shop, shopkeeper cannot tell you, how much free goods he will give because the shopkeeper doesn't even know what you are going to purchase, correct? So first material will be determined, either it will be determined or you maintain, you put it manually, then only your free goods can be determined, okay, how much free good is eligible or how much free good company is offering. Now, once you enter the material, now see the delivery scheduling. When you say, okay, this material I'm going to buy, then system performs the scheduling activity. Okay, this customer is asking 10 pieces. How much stock I have? Okay, on 23rd I will have this much stock. On 4th of May I will have this much stock. So then system do a scheduling of the delivery. Okay, how they can deliver the goods, right? And if you again see when this scheduling will happen, unless until you tell the system how much material and what material you are going to buy, system cannot perform the scheduling. So that's why it comes after your material and free goods scheduling. Now the availability check, how much stock we have, whether you want to, let's say you don't have a stock, then you want to transfer the goods to transfer the requirement to the production team. So all things will happen in the availability. Then comes your pricing. Till now the pricing has not came, but when this availability check happens, then only pricing comes into picture. Okay, how much price it has been being sold and how much discount and all those related pricing related activity will happen after availability check. Now when the pricing happened and let's say 100 rupee or 200 rupee something came, then system checks whether the customer has credit or not. You see, credit management cannot happen before pricing, right? Because unless until system knows how much is the document is going to cost to that customer, system cannot perform credit management. So now after pricing, system performs credit management related activities. Then comes your text determination. Text determination, you go to your order, this is the order, right? You go to text, you see these are all text types, right? We have not maintained when I was creating the sales order, I have not given anything, right? System is determining all these texts, right? At the header level also. And if I put a material, then at the item level also I have few text. As I said earlier, This text mostly it will come from your material master. Mostly, it's not mandatory, because this determination also is something, it's a determination. So you can have your own determination. It's not always that it will come from material, but yeah, mostly it comes from material. And the header, whatever text you see, that mostly comes from your customer. Okay. And as I said, these all are free text. You can enter anything, whatever you want, any note or any instruction or any communication that you want to send it to the subordinate, that you can maintain here. You can print it also in the, when you are print that document or print that order or billing or invoice, this you can print it as well. Because sometimes what happens, there could be some information which is the customer also wants to know, right? It's not only for internal purpose, right? Maybe the customer also say, okay, I want to see that particular information in my invoice also. So you can print all this also. Now output, as I said, once you have everything, then output it is determined whether this document to be sent to the customer as a PDF or as a mail, or some IDOC has to be triggered in between in the backend to trigger or to inform some other system. That determination happens in the output determination. And then transfer of requirement. Sorry, I missed it. This transfer of requirement happens at the last, not here. Here only system checks the availability. That's it. And then in the 11th step, system transfers the requirement to the production team. Okay, these all steps system happen. I think this you can remember this. Okay, and at least few line you can say for each thing. If someone asks, whenever we create a sales order, what happens in the backend? If you don't remember 11, that's fine. At least 5 or 6 you need to tell. Okay, if you can remember very easily, but see, when I go to VA01, what is the first thing I enter? I enter my partner sold to party. Then whether my customer is allowed, is there anything which I have maintained in the system? Okay, Vishal is not allowed to buy this, Vishal is only allowed to buy this. This all will come after I put the sales order. Then system will check that thing. Then determination is something Vishal always buy the same thing, and system has to put some 10 or 100 material always. If it is there, it will come. Then free good, then scheduling. Okay, so like this you can remember. If you don't remember, just think in your mind what you will do when you actually create a sales order. You go to VA01, you put the sales document type, then you put sales area. Then first thing what you enter, sold to party. So first thing will be partner determination. This is how you can correlate and you can memorize all this. Okay. This is delivery. As I said, it's into the shipping point. When you create a delivery, first thing it requires a shipping point, which is already determined in the sales order. Then the sales order, picking tab, picked quantity, post to issue. And again, as I said, accounting happens at two places. First at the time of PGI, and the other at the time of invoice. So this is the accounting entry for PGI. Sometimes they call it COGS, cost of goods. So first letter they take COGS. So it's sometimes they will say COGS. Okay. So in some interview, some people they don't see the full word cost of goods. Some will say what is the COG and all those things. So you need to ask whether you are asking the PGI document costs of goods issue something. Then you can answer. So COGS is debited and inventory is credited. And also if you see when we do the PGI, that time also system performs a lot of activities. You see, it updates the stocks. It generates the accounting entry. What is the accounting entry? This is our accounting entry. Where you can see, you can go to, sorry, this is the old document. Let's where is our document? We had one document, right? This one. You go to PGI document, you open it. You go to document info, you go to FI document. This is all we have covered, but since there are a few new people, so I am just explaining again. So here you can see the accounting document for PGI. You double click. So what was the order we received? I think 5642 or something. Yeah. Not this. Okay. Let's go to VF03. You go to document flow, you see when I go to the document flow by taking the invoice, I don't see the PGI document. So what I need to do, I need to open the delivery first, and then if I go to the document flow, I can see the PGI document. Select it, open it, go to document info, F5 document. The first document you see the accounting document. You double click. So this is the accounting entry for PGI. Here also the same pattern. The sum has to always be 0, plus and minus, and inventory and cost of goods. Okay. And also when you do the PGI, system also updates the document flow also, right? Because if you go to your document flow, when you do PGI, then only these two things will come, right? This picking and PGI. So it also updates the document flow. Then it updates the credit management, because credit management works at 2 or 3 places. Okay, once you create the order, and also on a broader level you can just understand the credit management works at 2 level, at the order as well as in the delivery level. So sometimes system or business configures the credit management in such a way that it happens or it considers the credit related stuff at the time of delivery. So it also updates the credit management related stuff in the backend. And as I told, LIS, it's something logistic information system or something. So this also updates the LIS in the backend, but this is not important. But if someone asks, you can just say these all things system performs at the time of PGI. And also as soon as you create the PGI, now your delivery is ready to create billing, right? So that's what it says. It updates the billing due list. Means now your delivery is due for billing. If you have not done PGI, it's not ready to bill, right? And if you do the PGI, then only it comes in the billing due list. Now it's invoice. How we do in VF01? Phone you already. We go to VF01, we put the delivery number, we press enter. And again, here also you see when we create invoice, system performs various activities. But generally, this honestly, I have seen few interviews where these people have asked you what happens in the backend, but no one has asked what happens at the time of invoice. Mostly these people ask what happens at the sales order level, because sales order is something which is the starting point of a sales process. So these all are very important. Even though these all are also important, but mostly in interview, if someone asks you what happens in the backend, so they only ask order and delivery. Invoice, I have never seen someone asking what happens there when you do the invoice. But you can go through it. It also generates the accounting entry, and this is the accounting entry which we have already seen. There is some profit analysis document also generate. Again, it's optional whether system uses this profitability configuration, then only it generate. Cost center, document flow, it updates the credit management and updates the LIS. If you see the billing and invoice, billing and delivery, so there are few similarities. So it's easy to remember. So you can go through it. You can try to memorize this. Now, any questions so far? Anyone?
No, Deepak.
Okay. Okay. So now, as I told you, return process earlier also. If you have sent someone some goods, like, and later the customer finds a damage, or maybe the expired stock or anything, then company, what in real world also what happens if someone, if you sell something to someone, if they complains, so first you will see whether I can send some person and I can fix that. Let's say it's a big machinery, so you will not bring that machinery again back to your company, right? You will see first option whether you can send some service engineer to the customer place, and whether they can fix it there itself. Or if it's a consumable good or something, then you will ask, okay, return me. I'll return it. I'll get the stock back to my company, right? So return will be also divided into few categories. Your company will replace, that's fine. Original invoice, yeah. One thing, this is also interview question. Sales order can be created with reference to pre-sales document, let's say inquiry, quotation, contract or schedule agreement, or without also, right? Like in our case, we are not taking any reference. We are just going to VA01 and we are just simply typing. When you create with reference, what you will do, you will go VA01, you will put all this, and you see create with reference. When you click here, you see I get all those options: inquiry, quotation, contract, schedule agreement. Apart from these four, you see there are two more tabs: order and billing. And as I said, return order is also a order only. The data gets saved in VBAK, VBAP, everything is same only. Even the configuration also you do in VO8 only. So now system gives all the options because the system doesn't know what is this ZOR9, whether it's a return order, it's a normal order. So system gives all those options. And as I said, you see, this all you can put it. Let's say I've created inquiry and I want to create the sales order with reference to inquiry. What I will do, I'll put my inquiry number here and then I will click copy. Similarly, I will go with the quotation, contract, schedule agreement also. But if you see, in our case, it's not mandatory. Even if I don't put any reference, I can go inside and I can create. Why? Because there is a small config. I'll quickly show you that configuration. Maybe that's something which you can remember because that's a very simple one. We have created our ZOR9. So you see, reference mandatory. It's blank. What this blank says? No reference required. You see, this is why when I'm creating ZOR9, system is not giving me any error. It is allowing me. What if I maintain this M, then with reference to billing, then I cannot create a return order, or that, let's say I have maintain M here, or let me maintain it right away, or let's save it. So now what we have done, we have told this ZOR9 can only be created with reference to M. What is this M says? Reference to billing. Okay, now let's go to display. And now let's try to create a ZOR9. You see, when I press enter, system automatically pops up and asks me the billing document. You see, even if you press continue also, it will ask you the document. From where it is coming? It is coming from the document type control ZOR9. This is what it is controlling, that thing. Okay. Now think from that perspective, when the return will happen. Before return, there is definitely one invoice which is already created, right? Then only you are creating a return order, right? So for return order, it is mandatory. I think I don't remember what is let's go back. UV8. As they mentioned, the return order document. Yeah, it's return document. I mean RE. Let's go to RE and let's see what is maintained there. Let's hope nobody has changed it yet. See, someone has changed this as well. Must have created this RE and they have removed this reference mandatory. They have kept it blank. So now return order can also be created with without reference. And also, as I told you, this all document, inquiry, quotation, order will be configured in VOV8. Then how you segregate? With document category. You see H. H means return order. Returns. So someone has changed it. No problem. Let it be as it is. No need to worry. And now see, when you sell something to customer, that time the accounting entry, whatever it is generated, customer account debited and revenue credited, whatever. When you do the return process, means all transaction will be happening in the reverse way, right? So that's why you see revenue account now, this is the accounting entry for return invoice. Now you see revenue account is debited and customer account is credited, because that in simple world also, right? When someone returns, you need to return the money to the customer as well, right? So the accounting entry is also reverse here. And as I said, return orders are always created with reference to a invoice. Now, the customer return the debit and order. Yeah, mostly they create with the invoice, but sometimes what happens, let's say you have sent some 100 pieces, right? And for some reason let's say for POD or for some reason the invoice quantity is less than the order quantity, then there could be few cases where customer want the return order to be created with reference to my main order as well. So in some process they follow that practice as well, that they create the return order with reference to the actual order, not with the invoice. Okay, so this is also one process, but mostly we follow this one. With the original invoice we create it. And the process will be similarly, there will be one invoice already, then we will have return document VA01, then there will be return delivery. The return delivery will also be VL01 and only similar thing. But instead of PGI, in normal document what we do, outbound delivery, we do PGI, that is post good issue. But in case of return what we do, PGR, post good reversal. So the goods accounting entry for this PGI also, the PGR will also be exactly opposite of what we see in PGI. Okay, then we create the return invoice. And these all are few steps how you create it. You see PGR. Okay, post good receipt or post good reverse, you can say anything, you can say. You see PGR, you do VG-VF01, similar process. Now say this is the case when you want to take the goods back to your company, right? Then you will create return order and then you will pay to the customer. Let's say what if the goods cost only 10 rupees, then you will not bring that 10 rupee material to your company, right? You will not send a truck to carry that 10 rupees goods from the customer place to your company, because it will be costlier for you. So what you will say, you keep that material or you can throw it, I will just return your 10 rupees, that's it. In real world also you must have seen, when you buy something from online shopping and something which you have not liked, you ask for return. So sometimes the company doesn't send someone to pick, they directly return you the money, that's it, right? Why? Because the cost itself will be more. So they don't want to take the goods to their own premises. They simply say, just keep it, I will return it the money as it is. So then you go for this create memo thing. You see, create memo use to deduct the amount from the customer outstanding without receiving the goods. As I said, there could be multiple scenario where you will not want your goods to bring back to your company. So then you simply create memo directly. So when you do create memo, there will be no goods movement, there will be no delivery, there will be no PGR. Directly there will be one order of create memo and then directly billing will be there. So sometime in interview this is also being asked, when you go for create memo and when you go for return order. So as simple as that. When we want the goods to bring back to our company, to our premises, then we go for return order. And when there is only financial transaction or financial settlement to be happen, then we go for create memo, debit memo. Debit memo is similar to your invoice only. Create memo is something reverse of invoice. So reverse of debit memo as well. Okay, so create memo, we return the payment to the customer. In the debit memo, we take the, let's say what happened, you sold something, right? And later after some time you remember, okay, we have charged the wrong prices to the customer. So you need to correct that price. Let's say instead of 100 rupee, you sold that goods at the price of 90 rupees. So customer again has to pay 10 rupees, right? So what you will do in that case, you will create a debit memo for that 10 rupees. So that customer will again pay you 10 rupees. But again, I said, when you create a create memo, debit memo, there will be no delivery, there will be no goods movement, because goods is already customer has received it. The only thing which is mismatching is your price. So you only need to do some financial settlement. So you will just create a debit memo and you will bill it and you will give that to the customer. Boss, I have for that 10 rupee which I missed, I have created the debit memo, just pay me that 10 rupee, that's it. Okay, and yeah, as I said, create memo, debit memo is also a kind of document only, order type only. So if you go to VOB8, here only you will see all those. I think it's a CR or something, but let me see, I don't remember. You see CR. But if you, again as I said, how system differentiates with the document category. So K means create memo, L means debit memo. Okay. You see, this configuration also we do. The similar kind of controls we'll have in all those documents, whether it's order, inquiry, quotation, return order, credit memo, debit memo. See, as I say, we are configuring all this in view V8. We have all the same kind of controls. So if you remember one, it's applicable for all those 6 or 7 type of document. As I said, debit, like charging interest, or user has mistakenly charged the previous invoice or something underpaid, and you want customer to pay some extra amount. So then you go for debit memo. As I said, debit memo is something the more similar kind of document as the invoice itself. And here so in both the credit memo, debit memo, we don't have delay, because what I said, when we do credit memo, debit memo, we are only settling the financial thing, right? Money related stuff, not the goods movement happening. Any confusion so far? Anyone?
No, Deepak.
Okay. We have 10 more minutes. Let's try to. This is invoice correction. Okay. I don't know. This is also. I don't know whether you people will understand or not, but let me just give you a brief idea. Don't go inside what it is. Just simply remember, invoice correction request is also a similar kind of document, as good as your credit memo and debit memo only. Okay, don't go inside it. Whatever we perform or whatever we achieve with this invoice correction, the similar thing we can achieve with credit memo and debit memo also. So, but SAP has given another thing. It provides you some simplification, but as of now you just ignore it. Don't go. If someone asks what is invoice correction, you can say it's kind of document similar to our credit note, debit note, or debit memo also. So sometimes they call it credit memo, or sometimes they call it credit note. And specifically, if someone asks credit memo request, then they are talking about the document what you have configured in VOV8. Okay, let me just type it here somewhere. Let's say if someone says credit memo request, so that is they are talking about the VOV8 document that you will create in VA01. And if they simply say credit memo, then that is the document they are talking about what we create in VF01. Okay, so this you need to remember. Request means they are talking about the order what we create in VF01. Memo means the invoicing thing. Okay, this you can ignore. Don't bother about this invoice correction. That's not that important. Rush order is also see, in our case what we are doing, we are creating a sales order, then we are creating the delivery manually, right, in VL01N, correct? In some cases, in some business process that we call it rush order, the delivery will be automatically created. You see, whenever customer asks delivery, when you do for this one, rush order document type is RO. Let's go to RO maybe. As I said, where we will create RO in the same UV8 only. You can just type RO. Why it is not coming? I think return order RO only, but why it is not coming? Maybe someone has. Okay, I think this is SO. So you see, this is changed. Someone, as I said, it's a ECC document. So maybe in ECC they call it RO, but now in S4HANA they call it SO. So you see, SO is rush order. Okay, but these all very few company uses it. But as a business process, you need to remember what kind of processes we have. So rush order is something when customer asks an immediate delivery. So then you don't want you to waste time in creating the order, delivery manually, and all those stuff. So how this RO is configured? Document type RO. Somewhere must be there. Let me just go down. You see this immediate delivery checkbox. What this X says? Create delivery immediately if quantity confirmed for today. So whenever customer is asking rush order or the delivery to be happen immediately, then definitely you know that okay, the stock is already there. Then only you will start creating that sales order for that customer, right? So this all saves your time because this is immediate delivery checkbox already created. As soon as you create the document type with SO, you don't have to perform this VL01 because system automatically creates the delivery for this SO document type or for rush order document type. And this is the delivery type it will take to create that delivery. So that you don't have to create manually, you see system automatically creates the delivery. Then PGI, then invoice. So somehow you save some time. In real world you will see a lot of difference, but here you must be saying okay, why there's so much time difference. I can go to VL01 and they can create also. That is also you can do. You don't have to go to rush order directly. It's all process businesses follow, but not many. You can say the rush order, whatever functionality what you will do in rush order, the same you can do with the normal order as well. But the only difference you have to create the delivery manually in there. And rush order and delivery, we can rush order process, system generates accounting, the same accounting. Because rush order is also normal sale only, normal item. I mean the financial entry will be normal, right? You will sell it and you will receive some money from customer. So customer account debit, revenue credit, same accounting what we see in normal invoice. Now cash sale, as I said, cash sale is something what you see in your Reliance Fresh and Reliance Mart and all the grocery store, right? You go there, you just pick the material, you pay to the counter, that's it. Pay in the cash or maybe whatever it is. Even though you can use UPI and everything, but this all comes under the cash category in SAP. So you are paying in cash and you are taking the goods right away, right? You see, Big Bazaar and all those stuff kind of businesses where this cash sale happens. And also, like I said, when a Tata Steel is doing business, they create a customer master. But for cash order, the customer will be very random, right? This all will not repeat sometimes. They will only come for one time. Let's say today I'm in Jaipur, I'll go to some big bazaar and I'll buy something. But I live in Kolkata. But is it a chance that okay, in near future also will I go to Jaipur? No, right? It's very less. So when you create a customer for such kind of customer master in SAP also don't want you to put all those unnecessary data. Very basic data, that's it. So the customer is also one-time customer for cash sales mostly. Customer will walk in the outlet, pick the material, go to the counter, pay the cash, that's it. Even Big Bazaar is not bothered about my detail because the Big Bazaar also knows okay, this person might be in the Jaipur for some what you call tour or something. He will not come again. And why to load your recipe with unnecessary data? So here we use a different kind of customer account group. We have a different customer account group and we call it as a one-time customer. The process will be same. There will be a cash order. If you see this cash order and rush order, okay, this all looks very similar because here also the delivery was created automatically. Here also the delivery will be created automatically. You see the document type is, what is the document type here? CS, right? If you go to CS, let me go back. CS. No, I think that also someone changed. Do you see something called cash or something? I don't know, maybe the document type is changed, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you can just scroll it maybe later and you can see. There will be some cash order like we have a rush order, right? So maybe the document type is changed in S4HANA, so there will be some different order type. But similar kind of control you will see there as well. The immediate delivery will be checkbox in the cash sale as well. There are few differences which we will see in the later part and somewhere in the document I've seen that there is a difference. What is the difference cash sale and rush sale? Let me see. Do we have here? No, we don't. Anyway, somewhere we will see that difference. So mostly you can say both are kind of similar kind of transaction. where we create only the sales order. System automatically creates delivery. One more thing, in cash sale, the availability also doesn't require, right? Because you have gone to the store, you have seen the stock, and then only you have picked it, right? So this all this configuration for this cash process or cash sale is configured in such a way that system doesn't perform the availability and related stuff, right? And as I said again, it's also a normal sale kind of activity happening. So again, but as I said, when in the normal, given the example of Tata Steel, when you create a billing in Tata Steel, what happens? Customer account is debited, because what I said, for big companies, mostly the 95% or 90% of the goods are being sold to the regular customers only. Only the 5% customer will be kind of one type customer, one time customer. Mostly they have their agreement, or they have contract already with the company who are going to buy the goods. So that time customer account is debited and revenue is created. But what happens in the cash? As I said, in cash sale, the customer could be very random. So instead of putting the customer account debit, what we do, we maintain some cash account. Okay, so this is a very small difference. You can see in the rush order, you see the customer account was debited, but you see in the cash sale, the cash account is debited and revenue is created. If someone asks you, is there any difference in the accounting of cash sale or normal process or cash sale and rush sale, then you will tell, yeah, when you do the accounting entry for cash sale, that time the customer account is not debited, the cash account is debited. So we have a cash account which will be applicable for all customer, or understood, right? As I said, the one time customer data we don't want to save, we don't want to create junk in our SAP, so we don't create each customer or each we don't bother about the customer master mostly here, because we just need to inform, I mean, we just need to store a very basic information, that's it. Okay, so this is all about the rush order. We'll see that difference, primary difference we'll see. Forecast shipping condition is 10, this is all fine, no need to remember. Now free of charge, yeah, as I said, sometimes you need to sell, not sell, you need to send some free sample to the customer, right? So you can simply send it there to the customer, but in SAP and in the real world, you need to have the what you call inventory related information, right? Let's say in my stock I have 10 pieces. Out of that 10 pieces, I want to give 2 pieces to someone. So even though those 2 pieces are free, I need to note down somewhere, right? Okay, these 10 pieces were there. I have, and I send the 2 pieces for sample. Somewhere I need to write it down. Means somewhere I need to maintain my accounting for the stocks or for inventory. So that's why that also we do in SAP with some transaction. We create a free of charge delivery, and then we do the perform. As I said, this is a free of charge, so you will not create a billing for that customer. So perform invoice maybe you can create. I mean that also, if you don't need, no need to create. And if you see, the accounting entry will not be generated, because you're not doing a legal transaction, you're just giving a sample. When you go to some, maybe let's say some caps, what do you call, cake shop or something, right? They give you some sample to test. They don't bill it, right? They just give you for testing purpose, whether you, maybe you just for a trial or something. So those process comes under your free of charge. Okay, we'll stop here. Maybe we'll continue the subsequent delivery free of charge tomorrow. Any confusion so far?